It is BBC Radio Newcastle. It is the sound of the North East, and you are very welcome along now. Euros 2025 kicked off yesterday, and Switzerland became the first host nation at a Women's European Championship to lose their opening match. Beaten 2-1 by Norway, Katarina Kasola's 70th minute goal was enough to end Finland's 16-year wait for a Euros win as they won 1-0 against Iceland, who had Hilda Antonsdottir sent off for 2 yellow cards. An exciting start to the tournament, but let's talk about somebody who has a good deal more insider information and somebody who I'm sure is keeping a close eye. Former Lioness Aran Embleton, originally from Dudley, who was the first North East woman to represent England back in 2001 and co-host of a great new podcast, Going for Goals. Lovely to have you on the show, Aran. How are you doing?
I'm great, Anna. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. And excited for Euros 2025. It's great, this. So were you watching last night, and where were you watching?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the new tournament, reigning champions coming into this. And yeah, I was watching from Cyprus. So I'm really, really excited. And there's going to be some other teams at the minute are outstanding in there. And we're going to be up against it. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, we really are up against it in our group, aren't we? The Lionesses have their first match this weekend against France. What do you think of their chances? Because both are very strong sides, aren't they?
100%. Both of them. France, I mean, we're neck and neck over the last 6 games. We've drawn 1-3 each. So it's going to be a hard game. They've got some players on top form at the minute. They've got a youngster, Clara Matteo. She's scored 18 goals for Paris FC. Wow. So we're going to have to be on our game, but I feel the likes of Beth Mead and Lauren Hemp are strengths for England are with our wingers. And that's where we've always had major success from. And I think if we use our width and play through both sides, especially now having Ella Toon coming back in the midfield, scoring 2 goals against Jamaica, we've got a really, really good chance.
Yeah, chatting to Jill, she was talking about how good we are at moving the ball. That is what we're good at, and that's what we've got to keep up this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, possession-wise, in the last game against Jamaica, it was 80% possession for us. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's a bit different because Jamaica, it's against some major opposition, with the likes of, which I'm sure we'll come up against at some point, Spain. And as we know, Spain at the minute are pretty much favourites to win. But I think if we play to our strengths, we've got Russo up there. She's firing on all cylinders. We've got Aggie Beaver-Jones, who's now coming in, and she's scored a hat-trick, and then she scored in the last game against Jamaica again. So I feel there's a lot of confidence, a lot of experience as well. That's one thing going for us is we've got a very, very experienced team that's played in major tournaments, and I think that's going to be one of the major factors for us moving forward.
We've talked about this a lot. Women's football completely changed over the years, thankfully for the better. It is very different, isn't it, for when you started out in the 90s in terms of media coverage, in terms of interest, which I think is really important. Can you see the massive changes?
Oh, huge, Anna. I mean, from when I played, you're talking about crowds of 5,000, you're now filling stadiums of 90,000 at Wembley. Yeah. There's just no comparison. It catapulted from the last Euros. And I'm hoping from this tournament moving forward, if we can get a win on the back of this again, women's football in the UK will again move forward by 5 to 10 years. That's how fast it's moving with sponsorship, the interest, capturing an audience, which they have. And inspiring the nation, really.
Yeah, and you're all about that. I know that part of your day job is that you are doing amazing work around coaching and to support the Lionesses of the future. So tell us a little bit about that, Aran.
No, absolutely. We've a local team to ours, which is Wickham Fellside Ladies. We've just launched, and they didn't have a ladies team, so we've just put a team together. And we're doing open sessions at the moment for anyone wanting to come along, so feel free to come along. And we're going into the Durham FA Sunday Women's Development League. So, yeah, awesome. we're all, anyone, for me, I'm very passionate about moving the game forward and an area that didn't have a women's team and pulling one together for that area, it's important so players don't have to travel, and maybe they can't afford to travel, but they still want to play. So yeah, and again, naturally we're looking for any sort of sponsorship. If anyone's obviously interested in coming forward to sponsor us.
Excellent. So that's the Wickham Fellside Ladies. If people are interested, just have a look for that, and details that I'll be around on Tinternet, I'm sure. And obviously everybody's got a podcast, and you've got a podcast. I haven't got a podcast, but this sounds like a brilliant one. So Going for Goals, tell us about that.
Yeah, so me and one of my friends, Gemma Atkinson, who's a former player as well, we had an idea a while ago to do a podcast, and as you know, there's a lot of podcasts out there. But it was a perfect time to launch the podcast with the Euros starting. So we did that last week. So that is on YouTube. Feel free to obviously come and follow, subscribe, and that will be moving forward on every week.
Oh, fantastic. Great stuff. And that's called Going for Goals.
Yes, it is.
Oh, lovely. And I know, Aran, that you've worked quite a lot with lovely Ed Waff around Warbella, haven't you? And also the Mary Lyons Memorial. You've done loads of work around that. Are you enjoying that part of the job as well?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's really important to, not forget that I stood on, their giants. I stand on their shoulders. Do you know what I mean? From back in the day in the war. And it was to raise funds for the men going out to the war, which is what the players did back then, and coming out the factories to do it. And 100%, anyone that deserves recognition, and that's one thing, the likes of Mary Lyons, Warbella, and I would advise anyone have the chance to go to the show when it's on, to go and see it.
Lovely stuff. And Aran, will you come back and kind of talk again with us throughout the tournament? Because it'd be really good to keep having a little catch up now and again if we could.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be very great to come on and do some updates and things like that, which will be fab.
Fantastic. Aran, an absolute joy to have you on the show. Bloomin' brilliant. Aran Embleton, of course, former Lioness. She is the co-host on Going for Goals.